Honoring the life of one of the Abundant Life school shooting victims, how community members and family members came together to remember Aaron Michelle West. Plus, preventing gun violence, one Madison man's mission to remove firearms from the community. And preparing for the holidays, how much lasagna one local resident is baking for Madison families. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Well, the wintry mix has stopped falling in the Madison area. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. The seasonably mild temperatures coming ahead of Christmas. Alex?
Yes, seasonally mild temperatures and then very warm temperatures by the end of this week. So we replace this wintry mix that we had and the cold that we just had over the course of this weekend with significantly above normal temperatures. And we have showers also in the forecast. But let's track the very last of the wintry precipitation as that mix ends. And I want you to let your guard down tonight completely because we still have wet pavement. There has been some light snow accumulated north of Madison. So as temperatures get below freezing, there's still going to be the potential for a couple of slick and a few icy spots tonight. Here in Dane County, you notice that little blue over the far southwestern portion of the belt line just near the studio. We got a couple flakes, and that's just it. A couple of flakes are just left here. As we take a look at our first Warren weather cam, looking at our capital, cloudy skies, we're in a little bit of fog out there right now. Planning our evening, the end of the snowflakes right now with temperatures staying at 32 degrees through this evening. So at 32 degrees, pavement temperatures, any poorly traveled roads or less traveled roads could slicken up just a little bit. The sidewalks could also get a little bit on the slick side too. Up on 151, this is the last of the more persistent snow shower activity up near Beaver Dam. And as we widen things out across the rest of southern Wisconsin, that's it. As we put future track into motion here, it takes any of that leftover snow and mixed precipitation out of here by the time we get between 7 and 8 o'clock. And all the advisories across our viewing area have been set to expire. But once again, could be looking at a couple of slick spots yet overnight. Then we're just going to be cloudy for this week, but mild. How mild are we talking? And when those showers arrive, how warm are we going to be? I'll let you know in a couple minutes.
Alex, thank you. We are honoring the life of Aaron Michelle West, a teacher who died in the Abundant Life school shooting. There was a funeral this afternoon for West. Her family and Gunderson Funeral Home allowed News 3 Now to attend part of the service. Our Meryl Hubbard was there to give us a look at Aaron's legacy.
Loved ones gathered at Doxa Church to remember the life of one school teacher from Abundant Life. This is the service for Aaron Michelle West.
We're going to sing some songs that Aaron most loved to sing. We're going to remember her life. So let's just pray.
Aaron is described by her friends as a light. And now that she's gone, this community is holding on to her brightness.
Compassionate, empathetic, devoted, faithful.
What was abundantly clear was that Erin loved Jesus. She loved her husband, Jack. She loved her girls, and she loved us and her church family.
Erin is survived by her husband and 3 daughters. She loved going on camping trips with them, and she also enjoyed wine tasting with her husband and connecting with her Doxa church group.
She showed her Georgia roots whenever she would say, "Love y'all," and she said it often. Our connection group messages were full of "Hey y'all" and "Love y'all." But she was someone who, when she said it, when she said she loved you, she really meant it. She backed it up. She showed this to us so well.
Erin is most recently from DeForest, Wisconsin, but graduated high school and college in Georgia. She's been teaching at ALCS for the past 4 years, and she died doing what she loved.
I think this is the driving force and the reason behind her career in teaching. To show the next generation the love of God through her life of love towards them. And Aaron believed that no matter what you have done or what has been done to you, no matter what people have said about you, no matter what you've said about yourself, that no matter who you are or where you come from, that you matter to God.
A loving teacher who put kindness and empathy above judgment, a mother who led with love, and a fighter who stood up for others.
Aaron was a godly, faithful woman, and her legacy lives on through you and for all of us. Amen.
Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes also attended West's funeral today. He says West's legacy won't soon be forgotten.
Anyone associated with that school is really like what we call the salt of the earth. They're the best of the best. They have big hearts. They really believe in service and in community. And so there's going to be some heavy hearts today, and I will be counted among them.
Next at 6, Janesville police have identified a suspect in a shooting last week. Officers say on December 16th, Deontay Foster shot a man on North High Street. The victim is currently said to be in critical condition. Police say there's no evidence of a direct threat anymore to the community. Foster is being sought for attempted first-degree intentional homicide. If you know where he is, you're asked to contact Janesville police. An Iron Ridge man is arrested after Dodge County Sheriff's deputies say he led them on a chase. A little before 7 last night, a deputy spotted a car going 21 miles an hour over the speed limit on State Highway 33. The driver allegedly sped back home and ran inside. The 57-year-old eventually left his home and was taken to the Dodge County Jail. He is facing charges of knowingly fleeing an officer and obstructing an officer. Deputies in Lafayette County arrest a man after a car crashed into a home in Benton. The crash reported about 4 Saturday morning. Deputies say a 32-year-old man was driving on First Avenue when he left the road and hit a house. That man was arrested for operating while intoxicated, first offense. He's been released to a responsible party. A Madison man continuing to work in his community to destroy guns and preventing violence that comes from the weapons. News 3 Now's Kyle Pozorski reports.
In front of the entrance to Midvale Community Lutheran Church, a pair of chop saws could be seen Monday afternoon. Jeff Wild, along with help from several others, brought them here to destroy 8 firearms, 6 of them handguns, 1 rifle, and a single shotgun. The action comes just 1 week after a student at Abundant Life Christian School brought 2 guns inside the East Side School, killing a teacher and fellow student. Wild says the guns were surrendered to him Friday to be destroyed, all to take action to prevent further gun violence.
We need to move forward in actually taking actions to reduce gun violence in our communities.
And this is one of those actions.
This is the beginning, one step.
Wild has done similar events like this before, and while this is not his first time doing so, he says the destruction is just his way to get guns out of the hands of people looking to harm themselves or others. On Madison's west side, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. Jeff has also worked to blacksmith many of the destroyed guns into garden tools. Accused United Healthcare CEO killer Luigi Mangione was back in court today. He had an opportunity to formally address the 11 charges brought by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, including first-degree and second-degree murder. Mangione's attorney expressed concern for her client's ability to get a fair trial. The judge insisted the trial will be fair. The jury will be selected carefully. Mangione's next day in court has been set for February 21st. A new report details the findings of the House Ethics Committee investigation into former Representative Matt Gaetz. According to the document, congressional investigators found Gaetz paid numerous women, including a 17-year-old girl, for sex. He's also been found to have purchased and used illegal drugs. Gaetz resigned from Congress in November after President-elect Trump nominated him for Attorney General. Gaetz denies any improper conduct and says the claims were a smear invented by his political enemies. President Joe Biden takes a large step toward his campaign promise to abolish the federal use of the death penalty. Today, the president giving a reprieve to most federal death row inmates, commuting their sentences to life in prison without the chance of parole. President Biden says he condemns these murders and grieves for the families, but he is more convinced than ever, he says, to stop the use of the death penalty at the federal level. The president has long opposed the death penalty and paused federal executions in 2021.
The president felt it was so important that it was a part of his discussion with the Attorney General when he interviewed him and talked to him about the job.
And that was from 2021. The president also cited the next administration as a reason for moving forward with the commutations. The Trump administration carried out 13 federal executions during the last 6 months of his first term. The Starbucks workers' strike has now expanded to 9 states. The union, representing thousands of baristas, says members in Missouri, New Jersey, and New York began their strike on Sunday. Locations in Colorado, Ohio, and Pennsylvania joined the strike on Saturday. This follows the Friday walkouts in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Seattle. The union says Starbucks has failed to meet its demand for immediate and future pay raises. A Madison restaurant is prepping for the holiday rush. Gino's Italian Deli on Verona Road, planning to sell 1,000 lasagnas by Christmas Day. Employees and family members have been working around the clock to make the specialty dish. Over the weekend, the restaurant made 200 large pans of meat and 90 small pans just for orders. And there are 400 additional pans sitting on the shelves for the big day.
I think it's all about the love that goes into it. It's all homemade. I mean, even down to the tomato sauce. Last night I sat here and smashed 30 industrial-sized cans of tomatoes to make our sauce. Every single part of it is homemade. I think that's what makes it so special. Nobody really does that.
Tomorrow, Geno's will be open from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. Still ahead at 6, Alex fills us in on our rain chances in the coming days, plus defining Madison. We'll hear from community members about what makes the city so special. And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10, preparing for construction, why transportation experts say more funding is needed for the state's roads.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
1 week ago, the shooting at Abundant Life Christian School publicly redefined Madison. But now that the national attention is gone and our city continues to work to heal, our Maddie Heimsch reminds us what makes Madison the place we call home.
If you Google Madison, Wisconsin, one thing will dominate the search results. But for those of us who live here, Madison is so much bigger than a headline.
Madison, Wisconsin.
In Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin.
This is unfortunately part of our fabric now.
A day that will always be etched in the memories of people in Madison.
We are one of those statistics now.
Literally, it felt like an actual spotlight casting, I don't know, this sort of like national issue, and then now all these people are gone.
But in just days, the international attention faded, leaving Madison as just another number. So what else makes Madison, Madison? We ask those who know best about the people.
Everybody here is really nice, especially when you're on the street and you smile at somebody, they'll smile back at you.
Lots of our friends are there.
The people are really accepting. Places.
Camp Randall, Old Fashions.
Yeah, the Children's Museum.
The historical buildings that are here.
Going to the zoo.
And things.
Go see what's happening around the Capitol, walk on State Street, go to the games. A lot of energy.
Madison is very welcoming, very diverse.
Jump around.
People are really active.
That make Madison what it is.
We can't let one violent event define us, but we can continue to respond positively and to support our community members. And that should really be the story.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
After the break, Alex tells us about the warmer Christmas weather and keeping your loved ones safe this holiday season, how you can prevent the spread of winter illnesses at family gatherings. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Seasonal illnesses are increasing just as the holiday celebrations kick off. The CDC is reporting that positive flu tests are up 9% in the most recent week. And cases of whooping cough are 6 times from a year ago, the rate we had last year. Doctors are offering tips on how to avoid getting sick and protect loved ones this holiday season.
It's sort of common sense guidelines that we've given for all viruses apply this year as well. Keep yourself healthy by washing your hands. Avoid contact if you can with others who are sick, or limit that. If you're sick yourself, then just be aware of protecting those around you. And also be particularly cautious if you're at risk, if you have immunodeficiency, if you're at risk for being particularly susceptible if you do get sick.
The flu season typically runs through April, so health experts recommend you can get your flu shot if you haven't already. And while this time of the year can bring joy to many, it can also create a lot of tension. Therapists say handling holiday stress starts with acknowledging it and then address the stress by giving yourself permission to do things a little differently. Be realistic before adding to your to-do list and allow yourself to say no.
It can be as simple as, thank you so much for the invite. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make it this year. And leave it at that.
Therapists say if some of your stress involves being around certain family members, set boundaries. Let them know in advance that controversial topics are off limits and have a plan on how to take a break if you need one. It'll be warmer than normal Christmas this year. You know, that might help some attitudes. Alex, you just feel a little comfortable out there with the weather?
Feeling a little comfortable temperature-wise, and some folks might be wondering, are we going to have a white Christmas? I got all those answers here in this weathercast here. But first, don't let your guard down tonight. Even though the mix is ending, we will cool below freezing, or at least be near freezing across much of southern Wisconsin. So that wet pavement, areas that saw some slushy snow accumulations today, could still see some icy spots overnight tonight. And that also is the sidewalks as well. If you have to take, like for example, my dog, look, we got to go for a walk, be careful on the sidewalks as well. Leftover of that snow just east of Beaver Dam, just east of 151, swinging back down 151 here to Dane County. Not a whole lot out there at this point in time, and this really is going to be the end of that precipitation as I put future track into motion, and watch it goes off to the east very quickly as we go towards 7-8 o'clock at night. But once again, don't let the guard down. Temperatures will be cooling down tonight. We'll have cloudy skies. We'll be in the mid to upper 20s, a little cooler to the north and towards the east where they have a little bit deeper of a snowpack, a little warmer to the west where they did not get as much snow with that Clipper system, but below freezing for the most part, if not across all of southern Wisconsin. That a few icy spots could still develop tonight, and it being still a well-traveled evening, or significantly traveled evening, I should say. Upper 20s to the lower 30s, that's what we will have in store for Christmas Eve. Cloudy skies, but the winds will be light, and these temperatures are seasonably mild and not that cold stuff that we were experiencing just this past weekend. Even though I'm in the snow globe here with 34 for high temperature on Christmas, we're not going to add snow on Christmas, just cloudy skies. But we have actually showers that are in the forecast. That's part of the 3 things you got to get out of the forecast here. Cloudy through the entire holiday week, but warming on up. Just wait to see how warm it's going to get here in a moment. Showers build in Thursday, going on into Friday, going on into Saturday, with at least a 50% coverage of precipitation at this point in time, although we'll likely have to bump that up a little bit higher, as it looks like at least Thursday night going into Friday and Saturday, several weather systems will be moving into the Midwest. Now, I had mentioned, what's the chance of a white Christmas? Most of Madison's Christmases have been white. I won't sing the song. 66%. At least of them have been white. And 7 a.m. on Christmas morning, if you have at least an inch of snow on the ground, that's considered a white Christmas. Now, when we look at our 10-day forecast, we'll do 31 again on Tuesday, 34 on Wednesday. Not warm enough that we're going to melt all of that snow away. So if you got a couple inches of snow or more on the ground at this point in time, you'll have that snow out on there, or very likely for Christmas Day. But by the time we get towards Thursday afternoon, Friday going into Saturday and Sunday, showers looking likely, highs up near 50, lows in the upper 30s to near 40. We will melt that snow out there, or at least much of it. Heading towards New Year's, temperatures staying at or above normal, maybe a little bit of a mix on New Year's Eve day. And what's the likelihood that it's going to be warm through the end of this month and to start 2025? With all that red, it's about nearly certain.
And still to come in sports, the Packers prepare for Monday Night Football. We preview the primetime matchup next on News 3 Now. The Packers have a good shot of getting their 11th win on the season tonight, and as good as the offense has been to get them to this point, the defense doesn't get nearly enough credit, especially Edgerrin Cooper. The rookie has been named the NFC's Defensive Player of the Week not once, but twice, most recently last week against the Seahawks. He's the first Packer to do it twice in a season since some guy named Clay Matthews back in 2010. When it comes to Cooper, it's all about the big plays.
I mean, he just makes a lot of splash plays. I mean, you see how fast he is. He's a great tackler. He's a great blitzer. We just need him to stay healthy so he can practice and then play more and more.
Just the type of player I am, and I just like to go out there and make big plays. It's just in me. I'm just trying to get better and better every single day.
And as for next week, the Pack do play on Sunday, but the kickoff time was moved back a few hours. Instead of playing the Vikings at noon, they'll play at 3:25 Central Time. It'll be a big one in Minnesota. The Pack are 0-3 against the Lions and Vikings this year and 9-1 against 10-1 against everyone else. After 4 seasons playing for his home state, former Wisconsin wide receiver Chimere Dike played his 5th and final season of college football at Florida. Today, the Waukesha native announced that he's declaring for the NFL draft. Dike racked up a career-best 783 receiving yards for the Gators this season. Well, the colder that it gets, the better that Nolan Winter gets. The sophomore forward has taken his game to a new level lately, scoring at least 15 in each of Wisconsin's last 3 games. It's the jump that Greg Gard always believed would happen and is now seeing in front of his own eyes. The sophomore averages 11 points and 6 rebounds on the season and is only getting better.
And Nolan, I think, is just, I used a phrase earlier this week that he's just been hatched, so to speak. So he's so young in terms of where he can be and what he can do. I mean, you see at that size and the skill level that he has and the athleticism he has, and he has a motor. I don't know if he realizes how impactful and how good he can be.
And don't forget to check out this week's special holiday edition of the Wisconsin Huddle. Sports director Zach Hanley looks back at some of the best moments during the first 14 episodes. The show, as always, airs right here on News 3 Now this Friday at 6:30. Now, Spencer Rattler, the Saints quarterback, reportedly was practicing or at least running through plays in a walk-in freezer to prepare for Lambeau. Is it going to be that cold?
No, not quite that cold.
He's from Arizona.
Upper 20s.
Pretty crazy deal, though. That he did that. I don't know if he needs all that, though.
He needs Kamara and all those other guys more
than he has.
Well, but speaking of freezing temperatures, we are going to get below freezing tonight. So any of those wet pavement surfaces that we have out there, any areas that saw slushy snow, you're going to see a little bit of icy spots. We're already having some reported north of Madison, some partially covered roads. But the good news is the mix is ending. Those few slick spots to be aware of, and then cloudy overnight and a mild week ahead.
All right. Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us at 6. Have a great evening. We'll be back here tonight for News 3 Now at 10.